Hi folks, thanks very much for joining me for this week's Stillwater tutorial. A couple of weeks back I did a combination of a couple of deadly nymphs, being the muskins and the cruncher, and it was quite popular, so I thought I would try combining another couple of my favourite patterns. So in the vise you see a combination of a cormorant and a cat's whisker. So without further ado, let's get into it. In the vise then you see a Hanak H 230 barbless hook. This one's at size 10, it's on a medium wire and it's in black nickel. The thread I'm going to be using today is the Veevus. It's E15, and as you can see it's an 8/0 thread and it's quite brightly coloured green. First thing I'm going to do then is get a little bit of wax just onto the tail end of my thread. Now when I say the tail end, I mean the first sort of inch or so here, because I don't want to get wax onto my main part of my thread here. I really want the colour from this thread to shine through. So I'm going to catch in my waxed piece just at the head here and then run my thread down, and you can see with the wax it does leave a little bit of colour, but once I've come up on my second sweep of this, that will hopefully disappear. Now what I'm going to do now is catch in my overbody, and what I'm going to be using today is the pearl tinsel. This is the ice blue. This one's from UTC. Now it gives a very pleasing effect, but you don't have to use this, you can use different things. The Mirage opal is very nice. As you can see, it gives just a little different effect. There's the Veevus pearl, again might just give you a different effect, and if you like, very similar to the ice blue is the buzzer wrap from Vineyards. But I've opted for the ice blue pearl today, and I've already got a little bit pulled off. It's quite thin and I'm going to catch it in, he says, failing to catch it in. I'll just come back there, make sure you do get it in place and then pull it back, and this one's going to come all the way back to where a barb would be on the hook there. And then what I'm going to do is come in touch and turns all the way back up the shank. Now you can really see, because there's no wax on this thread now, it's really starting to be a vibrant green colour, and that's exactly what I'm after. So all the way back, just make sure you catch in your tag there and bring it up. Now I'm going to have quite a large head on this fly, so what I want to do is stop 1/8 of an inch from the eye of the hook here. Then I can bring my wrap over initially onto the bare shank, and then in overlapping turns that can come up your coloured body. Try and not leave any gaps. And I've got the large here, so it's quite simple it's a simple matter of winding it up and getting good coverage. So as it comes up to where my thread is, I'm going to bring my thread over, 2 turns to lock it into place, then I'm going to do a couple of turns in front of the material and remove the waste. I could have done with that being a bit closer in, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. So we've now got our thread body down, the opal ice blue over the top there, and next I'm going to come in with some UV resin. I'm using the Solaris Bone Dry, but any clear UV resin will do the job, and just give it a very light coat. This not only protects your your upper body covering, but it does give a little bit of something to the fly. What do they say? Je ne sais quoi. So let's just get that cured off. Make sure you cure it well, because we're going to bring some marabou in for the wing, and you don't want the marabou sticking to tacky resin. Just make sure you've got it all cured. And I don't know how well you can see under the UV light there. It really lights up under UV. So I'm content that that's dry. So next I'm going to bring in my rib. I'm using some of the Comp Candy Lunar UV white, and I've already got a little feather that I've been working with here. So what I'm going to take is my thumbnail. It's worth, I don't want a heavy wing. So I've taken that off. I'm going to give it a little twist, and then when I snip my waist away, it won't go all over the place. I'm going to damp down the end. Just pull out any loose fibres, because what I want is for this to be pretty straight at the end here. So I can dress it up to the hook, and 2 or 3 turns just to capture that in. That's okay. Okie dokie. So next I'm going to come in with my thumb and forefinger, and I like to clamp it just in behind the bend and take away the excess tail. Now the reason I do that is I know that this will fit in the competition gauge, and years of tying competition legal flies tells me that that'll be near as damn it. I will check it against the gauge, but I know through experience that that's about right. Next then, I'm going to add some jungle cock eyes to this. Now I've got a jungle cock cape here. It's not the most expensive one you can get, so a lot of the time the feathers are actually split already. So you can see here I've got a little split in the feather. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be difficult to do on camera, but I just grab the very tips, bend it out, and just take away the guard feathers to the eye. And once I've done this, I can show you to the camera what's been achieved by all this faffing that's probably out of focus. So what I've got is just the yellow part. All the guard feathers are away. Now using the natural split in the jungle cock, what I want to do is just encourage that split, that it goes all the way down the stem, and then I can catch. I just want to come back there. Don't want to catch it that close to the eye. I want to just trap it in there. Now I've trapped it in with 3 turns. Now I can see on my side here that the eye's sitting just fine for me. Just going to open up the vise and have a look at what you're looking at. And yours is cocked down slightly. I'm not happy with that. So I'm just going to take a wrap up, bring that back up with my finger, another couple of wraps, and then I can check again. If it's not right, don't be afraid to come back and correct it, because it will just annoy you later on when you come to finish the fly. So that's sitting nice for me now. What I want to do is grab the waist end and take away that waist. Now the reason earlier when I was saying I trapped it in at the eye, if you do that, you end up with waist sticking out from your head, and you don't want that. So next then, I want to just build my head so it's nice and neat, and I can come all the way down to the eye this time, building quite a big head on this. Fairly happy with that, and I'm going to grab my whip finish tool, come in, just finish it off with 3 or 4 turns on the whip finish. Then I can come in with my snips and remove my thread. Just check everything's sitting. Again, just wet your thumb and forefinger and you'll get all the little bits of dust and waste out the way. So to finish this off, I'm going to use some UV resin. You can use head cement if you wish, but the resin, as I've said many times, it gives you instant gratification. So once I've cured this off, it can go straight in the box, ready for the water. Now I'm going to give this a couple of coats actually. I just think it looks better, but for the purpose of video, I'm just going to do the one. And there you go, a Cat's Whisker combined with a Cormorant. Now I've used this fly quite a bit, and what I find its best use is as a top dropper. An attractor fly, it'll bring fish into your cast, and if you're fishing a team of 3 or 4 flies, something innocuous like a dial back or a small cruncher in behind this is going to see you catch lots of fish. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please think about clicking the subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time.